It was here on this ground that my son scored his first ever goal in soccer. He was 7 years old, and like all boys that age, the only thing he wanted to do each game was score a goal. The first game came, no goal. Second game, no goal. Third game, no goal. Lachlan was getting desperate. We got to the last game of the season, and he still hadn't scored a goal. But midway through the first half of that last game, his opportunity came. The ball fell at his feet. He connected beautifully, and the ball went flying through the air into the back of the net. Well, he took off up the field with his arms stretched wide, his teammates jumping all over him in jubilation. And for that moment, it's like he was wrapped up inside a bubble of joy. But at the very moment my son scored, in a dusty town in the north of India was another boy with a soccer ball at his feet. Only this boy doesn't kick the ball, he makes it. He doesn't go to school. He spends 8 hours a day making soccer balls. His fingers are constantly cut from the stitching. Sometimes they become infected. He has severe backache from hunching over the balls all day long. The light is poor, so as the years progress his eyesight will go. And for all that, he gets paid the princely sum of 15 cents a day. And he's not alone. In his village, almost 15% of children are in exactly the same situation. What do I do with that? How do I deal with the fact that the very ball my son kicks may have been stitched by that little boy in India? Do I comfort myself with the thought that maybe it was one of the adult members of his family who stitched the ball? I mean, for most kids like this one, football stitching's a family business. So maybe it was one of the adults who stitched my son's ball. Well, I discovered that's cold comfort. You see, the reason this little boy is home stitching footballs is that his family need every cent they can lay their hands on. This entire family stitch soccer balls. They work long hours, they'll make 9 or 10 balls a day, and for their effort they'll earn about 70 cents. Not 70 cents each, but 70 cents collectively. And that means this family can't afford the basics. They don't get enough nutritious food to eat. When they get sick, they can't afford the doctor. Their house is ramshackle, and the kids don't go to school. What do we do with that? How can it be they only get 7 cents for making a soccer ball that cost me $50? How do I live with the fact that while my son uses this football for pleasure, the family that made it can't afford to send their son to school? And you know, it's not just soccer balls. Walk into a clothing store and you'll buy stuff built on the back of exploitation of garment workers in places like Bangladesh. Walk into an electronics store and you'll buy stuff built on the back of exploitation of factory workers in China. Walk into a cafe and you'll buy stuff built on the back of exploitation of farmers in Africa. Walk into a shoe store and you'll buy stuff built on the back of exploitation of footwear workers in Indonesia. And the list goes on and on and on. It's overwhelming. We never got rid of sweatshops. We've just exported them and shut our eyes. But what do I do now my eyes are open?